So give us a minute in case that goes.
You did test it, right?
I did test it. Oh, there we go. Okay, we got a green line. Yay, we are live according to this.
Then why does it say it's offline?
I don't know. Let's see what we can find. Guys,
there we go.
Okay. So do you want this view real quick or this view?
The other view.
The other view? Okay, that's going to be 30 seconds backward.
I'm just going to move this over, so stop fighting with me over the...
All I'm going to do is control the chat.
Right, I'm just going to move it over just a little bit and move this over. I know. I'm just going to make some screens a little smaller. I love this computer.
Well, hi guys, if anybody's paying attention, we are just setting up. There we go. It looks like it's just us right now.
So, I'm going to type here so you guys can
we
see.
jumped up. We've got 17 people. Hi guys! So we are just putting everything together. Looks like we have 2 minutes before Brad and Krista are done, and we are here. So.
We just really like to double check.
Especially with the fun we have been having.
So,
and if this does fall apart, because our internet will drop off sometimes like that, just go check us out on Google+. Is that right? It's in our About page, and we will be over there. So, hi, Mr. Edward Turner, Mr. Higgins. How are you guys tonight? So, we got about.
there we go.
Oh, there we go.
We have a 15-second lag. We have two screens to look at, so we have to pick one or the other. Okay, so tonight the first thing we wanted to talk about is that it's been a really emotional week. Watching what has been happening on the news, and for one thing, it makes me have a lot of hope for the nation. The fact that we have the ability now to live stream, so that as far as being able to have a somewhat unbiased view of things that are happening instead of it having to be hearsay. I'm amazed by the technology that we have now that hopefully will make the kind of altercations that we've seen this week less likely. For those of you who don't know, there were 2 shootings this week that were just mixed up and messed up, and it just made you cry to watch them. One was Philando Castile, and the other was Alton Sterling. Am I saying right, Alton?
I don't remember.
Alton Sterling. And both of them involved police officers and...
Hold up a second. So guys, it looks like we are going, where our stream is available, but it looks like it's getting very thin. So once again, if we drop off the map completely, go over to Google Plus and check Dirtpatcheaven out on there. I'll try and keep my best eye on it, and hopefully we don't lose it. But if so, we'll be over there shortly. So
we have 2 mics recording. Did you switch mics?
Hold on, let me just shut one down then. Is that any better? Sorry, guys. Okay, go ahead. We should have one on. Yeah, thanks for letting us know.
How about you, Palmetto? Can you still hear it? We have a 15-second lag, and so if it didn't work, we need to know. Is there any way just to turn it off all the way?
So we've got...
Can we just turn it off?
We have one of the 2 mics going. The other one is off.
Okay. Yeah, we have our mic that's connected to our computer already turned off. So,
sorry guys, we're catching it. Much better. Okay, everyone's saying we're better. So
okay, good deal.
Okay.
So mostly, what I made a video when the first time I watched these clips that were on YouTube about the shootings, and I was really emotional about it. I didn't put it up because I felt like maybe I was too emotional about it. I didn't know which way to go. And then there were the Dallas shootings, and that seemed to just complicate things even more. And whichever side you stand on, or if like me, you're just sad about both situations, the thing that I wanted to point out that I feel the most strongly about is stay engaged. Are you paying attention to comments? Because I'm just talking to the camera.
Yeah, I'm watching and listening.
Stay engaged, because this is the kind of thing that sleazy politicians watch for, to use opportunities to take away civil liberties and to take our Second Amendment rights away from us. For any time that they see this kind of discord in the nation, this is when they start to slip in laws that are supposed to fix things but are really just taking away our liberties. And so rather than any of us going back to watching Dancing with the Stars or worrying about what the Kardashians are doing, I hope that for the duration, until we are listening better to each other and everyone's needs are being met, and we've really guarded and cherished and taken care of each other, until that has happened, we need to be very mindful of watching our politicians and seeing what they're going to come up with to try and take everybody down.
Mike Miller just named one of the big ones too, with gun control. There's also going to be, it will be pitted as a race versus police issue, and there's a few things that are going to be happening here. So,
and politicians are opportunists, and I believe that so much emotion is on the wind right now that we just have to really guard everybody's civil liberties, guard everybody's rights, and guard them from the bad guys who are actually trying to take them away from everybody. And thus we need to protect each other and look at everyone as a brother and a sister. Mm-hmm. So now we're going to move on, because I'm really agitated about it. I have been for like a week now.
And Mr. Pastro came out. Shout out to Ireland. I did see you up there. He's got it where we over here in America definitely have. As my doctor friend said it, we live in the least unfree country in the world, and so we are very grateful for that. But it's a responsibility to keep that. We must guard that freedom, with our lives. That's what our founders did, and so we may need to. There might be a time where we may need to become. We have to stay engaged, and God forbid that it get to the point where we have to do anything more. That would.
I believe that we listened to who was it? Reverend.
It was Martin Luther King.
The
I Have a Dream speech. We got the full speech today.
We were listening to it this morning, and I was so struck by it. The most powerful protests and the most powerful political movements in history have been peaceful. Mm-hmm. And we need to remember that, because
the successful ones have always been.
And so when, instead of talking about going out and kicking butt, if instead, another powerful thing is voting with your dollars. Vote with your dollars, because it's where it hurts them. They're so interested in money. And so if you've ever been in an argument with somebody and you're the one who managed to stay calm, you notice they just get more and more irate, and they feel more and more powerless the more they rant and rail at you. But the more calm and peaceful and just standing and saying no without aggression, the more powerful you are. It's when you get caught up in it and allow yourself to become the aggressor that people get hurt.
And it looks like our audience gets it. Living Ready 69 over here says we need to have more prayers, not protests. And I'm seeing a lot of that on the comment feed. You guys are right. You get it, and it's really heartening to see. That's encouraging.
Minpan, have I seen you on here before? Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to see you. Oh, how are you? Okay, guys, if you don't know who Min Pan is, you need to go check her out. She can eat a bowl of hot, spicy noodles like nobody's business, and I love her so much.
Yep. And Julie has loved you for a while.
It makes me feel a little bit perverted to just sit there and watch you eat your hot noodles. Yeah. It's called food porn. It's kind of like it's an actual thing where you get to watch people on internet eat. Like, I can't eat wheat, so watching her eat her noodles just, oh my gosh, she's eating more noodles, and they're hot noodles that time. Okay.
Hot noodles.
So, yeah, I do. I love her. She's so good. Okay, so.
So she loves us too. Thanks.
I know, right? And she has amazing hair. She always looks so turned out and just beautiful. Mm. Okay, so
we're gonna move on to happier news.
Sorry.
No, sorry, Min Pam, you're awesome.
Gosh.
No, I'm still watching the feed, and it's 30 seconds behind what we're actually talking about at the moment. So sorry, guys, we're trying to keep up, but yeah, we're gonna move to, right. Big family homestead raises eyebrow.
About what?
That's kind of the food porn bit.
If you can't eat wheat, how long? If it's been years and years since you could eat wheat, yeah. Food porn is a real thing. Okay, so we're going to move on to our amazing kids. This week, Paige and Kaya have just pulled the stops out. Paige has been getting up before me to go out and do her chores. She does the rabbits. She feeds and waters the goats. And she's just a little trooper. She gets up and does that. A lot of times, Kaya will try to come in and cuddle with me in bed, and I get up really early in the morning, and but about half the time, Kaya goes out with her sister and starts chores at about 6 o'clock in the morning. So they have just been amazing lately. Yeah. Paige has been making breakfast, lunch, and dinner. She does a pretty good scrambled egg in the morning, and then today she made spaghetti for lunch from scratch. That is not spaghetti sauce out of a jar. She took tomato paste and she I'm not keeping track of comments, so if you're not
right, I'm watching them. Don't worry.
Hamburger, and she cooks the noodles herself, and then she has been making a lot of pot roasts for dinner. So she is just, if I didn't have her, I would be set back so far. She just amazes me. What else have the girls been doing? Did I write anything else?
For the most part, keeping the house pretty clean.
They're the ones that do all the house cleaning. If I have a second between doing animal and farming stuff, I will come in and wash dishes or help Kaya in her bathroom a little bit. For the most part, Paige does all the vacuuming. Kaya cleans the bathroom. They both do the dishes together, and it has definitely made our home run smoothly. They've been spinning a lot. I've been a little bit cranky about them being down here spinning because they've been leaving a lot of messes. But
right. Okay, and I'm gonna mention this one more time too. Our stream is barely holding on here on YouTube, so if we do fall off and you guys start buffering a lot and we just die out, go check out our About page on Dirtpatcheaven and our Google Plus. We will immediately start up a Hangout over there because the streaming seems to work better over there. So, okay. So.
When did she start learning to cook?
Wow.
Let's see. She started about 2 years ago when she was doing scrambled eggs or oatmeal.
Mm-hmm. So she was about 7 at the time.
Mm-hmm. And Kaya's trying to do it about the same age, about 7.
And so we've let them get their own interest in it, and we're happy to help them whenever we can and
mostly it's just observation. Like
yeah,
they'll be like, well, Mom,
really
I can do that. You don't need to. I'll be like, okay, let me show you how to peel the carrots. They're like, I've seen you do it, Mom. I know how to do it.
Exactly.
Like, okay, and I'm like, are you going to season it? Yeah. What do you think you're going to put in this time? Well, I'm going to put, and then they have their own little recipe that they want to get together.
Yep. I did jump in to throw the Italian seasoning in the spaghetti sauce, and she's like, okay, what was that? And she's making sure, and I'm like, it's the Italian seasoning. It's in this one that looks like this. So
yeah,
they're very, steel trap minds and just amazing.
Yeah, it's I prefer to teach that way rather than just teaching knowledge out of a book as far as like fractions and that kind of thing and weights and measurements. It seems to make so much more sense just to teach them by showing them something practical that the information pertains to. Is there a troll? We need to get a moderator because I'm not paying attention.
No, well, we're doing...
It doesn't matter. You just tell me what the positive ones are, because I can't see them.
Apparently we're getting to the point now. So later, in 30 seconds, you guys will hear what I'm talking about, where we're getting to the point where you guys are finally hearing about the bandwidth problem. And it's a service provider. We're only allowed a little less than a megabyte, so we have to have really blurry connection. Anyway, and that's dumb, so we're not talking about it. But yeah, Brad says they need moderators. Hey, if anybody wants to volunteer, Brad.
Anyway, we're going to move on.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
this next week we have another woofer coming. He is our first male woofer, which I am so excited about, because I have so many things that are too heavy for me to move, or they're just too hard on my body to try and do them. And so this will be an experience. I believe he's in his early 20s is what it sounded like, and he was raised on a sheep ranch. And so he's used to the wide open spaces of Montana and Wyoming. And that's why he picked our farm, was because he wanted to see the difference between a ranch that's 200 or 300 acres and ours is 1.65 acres. And so he wants to see how we do it. And I think he's going to be here a week and a half, 2 weeks. And I have the longest list in the world. But our first woofer taught us that I really need to have a list, and I need to feel okay about the fact that after I've worked for a certain amount of time, it's okay for me to leave them to a task and walk away and do what I need to do in the house. When our first woofer was here, that was really hard for me. I felt like I was leaving her out there to do all this work, and I just felt guilty about it. But the thing is if I waited until she was done working and I didn't feel like I was dumping on her, then lunch didn't get made, breakfast didn't get made, dinner didn't get made, and everybody was waiting for food, and then people were cranky. And so this time around, I'll work with him for the number of hours that I usually work, which is about 4 hours in the morning. I'll set him the next task, and then I'm going to go in and make lunch. And if I think the regulation length is 6 hours, that you're not allowed to require the woofers to work more than 6 hours a day. And so that should set us, if he works for about 2 hours, so till about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, then at that point, I wouldn't have any more work for him to do unless he really wanted to. And I'm really excited.
Min Pam says he's going to be very busy. Yes, he is.
I know.
We have plans.
I've got tons of permaculture stuff to do. We have all of our Nanking cherry bushes and our Siberian pea shrubs. We have all sorts of bushes that have seeds that are just coming on that we're collecting. And rather than purchasing them on eBay or something, I'm just going to harvest them from the land this time.
We froze. Okay, hold on. Okay, let's see. Buffer hell. Yeah. Okay, guys. I'm going to try this one more time.
They said it's
refresh.
Back.
They are on. Yes, but I'm... Okay.
A woofer is a volunteer who comes to your farm, and they're like a farming apprentice. They come to learn what it is that you do.
Okay, go ahead.
And what you give them is you give them shelter, you feed them while they're there. It's not a paid occupation, but it's a huge, huge blessing to the farmer, because here, if you're not wanting to be paying $12 an hour to somebody to come work, then you may be hiring an illegal immigrant, which it's, they're not as protected as if you were on their paycheck, and it's illegal to hire an illegal immigrant. Illegal is in the name.
Unlike some people, we would actually, pay consequences for that sort of thing. So.
What?
I said, unlike some people, we would actually have to pay the consequences for hiring an illegal, breaking the law. We would have to.
Does somebody not get consequences?
Right. There's other stories in the news, dear. Sorry, go ahead.
So before we had woofers, I had actually tried to find, there were some things, particularly hauling of hay, that I tried to find some neighborhood boys that would help me haul hay. I offered him $20 an hour because I knew it would take us about an hour to do it. It would have been worth it, but I had no takers. And when I was a kid, I was making $3 an hour to do farm labor. And so I don't understand what's wrong with the world that there's not teenage boys out there that aren't willing to work for that kind of money once a week. So I'm grateful for woofers because I have looked for other help and haven't been able to find it. Are you able to put in a fall garden? I think that's something I'm going to try this year. I'm just getting to the point where I'm thinking about planting some kale and some carrots in the greenhouse. The problem is it's so stinking hot out there. And if I put them out in the row garden, it will get too cold once we get into. So I don't know what I'm going to do. Right now, my garden is so completely full of squash and cucumber plants and tomatoes that I don't have a spare inch to find to put in any fall crops. So you know how they say get the biggest greenhouse that you possibly can because you'll fill it every time? Well, we got the biggest greenhouse we could afford with the Kickstarter that we did, but it's not big enough for doing summer crops and planting in winter crops when it's the appropriate time.
Permaculture Homestead says you're permaculture woofer. Nice.
Yeah.
So, and guys, I'm trying to get the trolls under control. It's just, well, you guys are awesome, and we appreciate the commenting. It makes the feed move a little fast. I can't.
Actually, Minpan, that would be awesome because I don't know what I'm doing with the mod or anything.
Oh, next time
I have such a hard time looking at the camera and talking to the camera, and I can't look at the camera and look at comments at the same time. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so one super huge exciting thing for us is that hay is down to $75 a ton. It hasn't been down that low in 5 years. Last year it was $185 a ton for subpar rained-on hay. The year before that it was $200 a ton for subpar rained-on moldy hay. This year it's $75 a ton. It's huge. So we sold, what was it I sold? Oh, I sold our big fancy grain mill, our wheat grinder, our hand wheat grinder. It's a $500 mill. I sold it for $250 because we just needed to get it out of here. When we were thinking about living in the RV, I just had to cut back on stuff. So we just sold that, and I went and just handed my farmer all the money that we got for that, and I said, here, I need hay. And the nice thing is that he has a hay loader, so when he cuts and bales his hay, it loads it up and stacks it, and all he has to do is bring it to our place and dump it. I don't have to load it again.
Yeah. Here, Chicky, that's a good price on hay. Or, I'm sorry, Nicholas says that's a good price on hay. Yeah, and it's down.
Wow, $40 a ton?
It's $75 a ton, yes. We are grabbing some as quick as we can because it has, like she just said, it's been 4 years and it was up at almost $200 a ton.
Oh my gosh, Grandpa, that is awful. $300 a ton.
In Alaska, yeah.
Well, and our problem is that we had so many residential areas pop up that we were losing our hay fields. Mm-hmm. And the problem is that when it was that high, we had a lot of farmers who went out and bought new equipment when they saw the prices that high. The prices went down this year, and all those farmers went bankrupt because they had gone and bought all this new haymaking equipment because everybody said, oh, it'll never go low again. Well, it went low again. And so once again, stay out of debt, don't get new until you've used old, which is really hard when you're in business, is because you see these opportunities and you want to invest in them, and we've fallen into that trap. Mm-hmm. You know, we have a very tiny amount of business debt. I mean, it's minuscule. Most people would not even think of that amount as a business loan. It's not a business loan, but it's big enough that when we have lean times, we're like, why did we do that? Did we really need that new camera? And so all these farmers have lost their livelihoods because they went out and bought the new $75,000 hay baler, etc. Okay. Yes, here you find now echo.
No, Sand Hollow Homestead's on. Sorry, he's back in a minute.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so there were a few of you guys that volunteered to be moderators. I saw some X's, but I didn't catch the names, and I didn't click you on quick enough. So if you want to jump on, say, hit an X again and put it in the comments, and I'll try to get you moderated.
Is Palmetto?
Palmetto was in. See the little
Is he a moderator?
Yep.
Okay, good. And Minpan said she would too.
Oh, good. Next time I see your comment, Minpan.
So we have a really exciting thing happening right now. You guys know we bought a whole bunch of geese this year. The reason was I needed some manure at the base of my trees, and I needed them to be weeding things out. The downside of geese is that, okay, there's the upside. They are great guard dogs. They will protect your chickens. They will protect your chicks. They will protect your ducks. Nothing will get in there when you have geese in there. The problem is if they see a fox at 2 o'clock in the morning, they'll chase him off at 2 o'clock in the morning. And so Maybe just having a really tight coop might be better than having geese if you have neighbors or if you like to sleep in the middle of the night. And so there is that there is the up that they're amazing guard animals. If they see something untoward, they will alert you. But they do it a lot at night.
3 in the morning.
At 3 in the morning, you will get woken up. The other good thing is that they do take down the weeds. They eat a lot. They like to graze a lot, but they also eat a lot of grain. And that's what the topic is right now, is that we had 2 years worth of grain food for our animals, and it lasted us for 2 years. We still have about 6 months worth of grain left for our animals, but it's starting to decrease. I'm watching it decrease a little bit more. We need to buy another load come August, September, when they start to harvest. But geese eat a lot, and they eat a lot more grain when they don't have grass as their main food, and they're really noisy at night. So honestly, my favorite poultry is Muscovy ducks. They're stinking quiet. They hiss instead of quacking. They're big. They grow fast. They hatch out their own babies. Our mama Muscovy has just hatched out her second batch of 8 ducklings, and so she's hatching out a batch of ducklings every 2 months. And so we have enough ducks now that I think they could keep down the weeds around the trees, so that we could start butchering some of our geese so that we could sleep a little better at night. Right. But at that point, we would have nobody to guard our ducks. True. And so what to do? I think earplugs might be appropriate, and maybe as a present we should take all of our neighbors' earplugs, because I know there's no way that our neighbors aren't absolutely being driven crazy by our geese honking at 2 o'clock in the morning.
But there is the occasional neighbor. It's like, ha ha ha. So, oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't supposed to say that.
No, I don't think it's kind.
No, it's not kind, and it's not. I think we are far enough away from our neighbors. I should ask our really good next door neighbor if he can hear them. Hear us. But after that, then I don't think the other ones can hear us.
If Barris is, I would worry if Barris is good. Okay, palmetto. Yes, we have tried guineas. They're also exceptionally loud, and ours would always jump up and climb up on the roof and poop so that it got into the rain gutter, or they'd fly across the fence over into the neighbors to get into their wild turkeys and rile them up. And then they would chase our chickens and eat the feathers of our chickens on their chickens' backs.
Yep. Big Bear says Muscovies are delicious, but they will tear up a pea patch. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure they would.
Yeah. We keep them pretty much with our trees, and they'll tramp down the grass and make a big mess, that way. But
we keep our egg-laying ducks in our gardening space, and we keep cages over our garden, and that way they're just eating slugs. Are ponds needed for Muscovies? No. Muscovies, they like water as much as a goat does. They'll stand in it, but it's not like they want to swim in it. They are a tree-dwelling duck. They actually, as far as I know, in the wild, they actually have their babies up in trees. Ours don't do that.
And to answer another question, they are not hybrids. They are purebred Muscovy ducks, right?
And do I like guineas? When I butchered them, they've been kind of stringy. I think they're beautiful, but as far as what works best on our property, ducks work really, really well on our property because we have so much mulch. They are mean, right? We actually butchered our African ones because they're the ones with the big hump. They're gray and they have the big hump, and they're extremely vocal, very, very vocal, and it's the only goose that we've had that tried to bite.
Yes.
The Chinese ones are second in line on that. They also have the big hump, but they're white, and she's really loud, but she's more docile. And the ones that we've liked the most that are the quietest have been the Toulouse, which I think is a French breed.
Yeah. Well, and the guy we got them from had raised them and handled them from geese too. So, let's see. Mistine71, how do duck eggs compare in taste to chicken eggs? They're a little more egg flavored, hearty.
I would say
hearty flavored.
meatier. Yeah. To me, they taste meatier, and they're thicker. They're more gelatinous.
They will fill you up faster. You usually only need
Can
one.
you domesticate a Canadian goose? Yes, our neighbor domesticated a Canadian goose and loved them, and they were friendly, and they're not noisy. The thing is, domesticated animals are so loud and stupid. It's like they just love to make noise. It's like they have learned that the more noise they make, the more likely it is the human will come out and feed them. Whereas wild animals, they will be quiet. They will just pipe down and be quiet unless they absolutely know that they're in a safe space. Like a Canadian goose wouldn't fly down and be in a grain field and just sit there and honk and honk and honk. They will honk when they're in the sky, when they know they're safe. But the more noise they make, the more they attract predators to their nest. And so domesticated birds are dumb. Let's see. I know everybody needs a woofer. They're amazing. My little brother woofs, and he loves bushcrafting, and so and if there had been such a thing as woofing before we got married, I would have lived as a woofer because oh my gosh, I loved bushcrafting. I loved everything outside.
Brad says a woofer in my world is a bass speaker. Me too, with about 1,000-watt amplifier right ahead of it.
Yeah, Mistress Phoenix, more yolk, richer taste, exactly.
Yes, you got it. So I have an attack rabbit. He's got funny.
Let's see.
So,
a Canadian goose. If a Canadian goose had babies, they would definitely be protective, but a goose will fly away rather than like confronting a predator. They will just fly away. Domestic geese are too heavy. They've been bred to have more meat on them, and thus they can't fly. They can do a little hop over a fence or something like that, but as far as being able to take off and really fly away, they don't have that as an option.
Let's see. Mike Miller says, sell rabbit meat to weightlifters. It's a niche market and the higher protein than chickens. It probably could be, and it's also a lot leaner. There's no fat to rabbits, but it's not. If people did that every day for every meal, they wouldn't be getting enough fat in their diet, and I think it would be counterproductive even for bodybuilders. So, sorry,
rabbit?
That was, yeah. Don't you think
No,
so?
it's not counterproductive for bodybuilders. It's protein without fat. If you were in a shit hit the fan situation, you would need to make sure that you had some other source of fat and you weren't just eating rabbit, because in that situation, you could die without more fat than what you have in rabbit meat. But as a bodybuilder, a lot of times you have cheat days, you have other things that you'd most likely be able to get enough fat.
Okay. Farm Fresh says, my daughter had a guard goose. His name was Clark. That is awesome. So, attack rabbit reminds me of Monty Python, doesn't it?
Right. They're out. We have one. We call her Maleficent. She's
evil.
She's only aggressive just the second after she's been bred. We have got to get her out of there very, very quickly as soon as she's bred, but without touching her, because she will bite you. Mm-hmm. She's a very cranky, just been bred bunny. Let's see. What? What off-grid?
She just used yes, she did. Off-grid Nation. She did just use the full term with the S word included.
Huh?
So.
What?
Who? You said poop. See? Poop hit the fans.
Oh, because I didn't use the acronym. Oh, sorry, guys. My mama swears worse than that. What's up with you guys?
So, let's see.
Okay. Let's see. We got... You guys know we sell the spinning wheels. We did get the Mach 3 in so that I could try it. I love looking at geese migrate. The formation is awesome. Our neighbor can call them out of the sky. Is that not amazing?
Right.
He's taught the girls how to do the goose call, and that's not so amazing in a closed car. When the girls see a V in the sky and the windows are up, all of a sudden they start honking. I'm not going to imitate because they can do it really well. Did you want to call the girls down and they could do the goose call for him? It would be awesome.
That's sweet. Audience poll. Everybody say yay or nay on that, but I'm warning you.
No, go get him. Really, it's awesome. They'll love it.
Okay.
Have I ever spun cotton? I have spun cotton. A charca is the best thing to spin cotton on because it's slow, and you have to put it in is it puny or puny? It's Puni. puny, and it has to be rolled and prepared in a particular way because you want it to draw out very, very tiny amounts, and so the preparation for spinning cotton is much more involved than spinning wool. I don't like to spin cotton. It's much more difficult than wool because of that. Do you want to show them how you call geese?
Are you coming?
Pretend you saw a goose in the sky, like Gary told you.
Yeah, you just saw a goose. And it's so fun in the backseat of the car.
Yeah, all of a sudden you have all this ringing. Do you want to show them how you call geese? Okay, good job.
Guys, you know what? Ow. I just made
Okay.
myself some shoes.
Oh, what was it?
Kaya wants to show everybody
Oh, I
her
missed
shoes.
everything.
There's Kaya's
Yeah,
shoes.
she just made herself shoes out of cardboard and string. I don't know if they can see it.
These are
Kind of.
loose.
Can you turn your foot, honey?
Yeah,
She just
she's
made herself
flexible.
shoes.
Okay, Ronnie says, good job.
Oh, I'm so sorry that it was too loud.
I'll bet it
We
was
have our
loud.
speaker turned down. I swear we do. Is this how I turn it down even more?
Yep, that's your microphone slider.
Is that better,
Somebody was
guys?
saying it was too low a minute ago. A few minutes ago. Sorry, guys. We just
Oh,
blew some speakers.
Careful.
We
You
just-
just bonked me, and now I don't know where my questions
We
were.
just blew some tweeters rather than some woofers.
What is her by saying yes? I don't know. What's that? Can I take them hunting with me next time? Definitely.
Yes.
Oh,
You-
I'm
you
sorry.
might make
Yeah,
it
now
through the
imagine that in a closed car.
Right.
All of a sudden, we're like, what? And they're looking out the window trying to call geese with the windows up.
My dog just... Okay. Who's calling him down there?
Okay. Oh, so should I turn it back up then? I wasn't sure. Okay. Okay, so we can go on from there. How much time do we have left?
Oh, we got
Rabbit
28
feed
minutes.
budget,
We're
$12 to
good.
$15 every 4 days. Okay, so for any of you who want to be keeping rabbits, this is one of the reasons I do permaculture. Is that I go out and any spaces that have been watered around my trees, I have planted comfrey, or I have planted anything that gives some kind of food production to me, but goes wild very quickly. And so we will cut our comfrey down. Yes, do I need to slow down?
I'm listening. I'm just.
Oh, okay, you're just
sorry.
touching my knee.
Yes.
Usually that's a
Suggling.
dear.
No, you're doing great.
Calm down. Calm down.
No,
You're
I think you're
talking
doing
too
awesome.
fast.
Okay, turn up the volume. That's what I was
Okay.
afraid of. Thank you,
Yeah,
guys.
I just wasn't sure.
I hope that's not too loud now. So we're gonna start talking very quietly and then ramp it up so you guys can turn it down.
Okay, so right now we haven't bought a bag of rabbit food in like 6 weeks, and we have how many rabbits do we have out there? 20?
Close to 20.
More than
It's-
20.
Yeah, well, counting babies, there's a bunch.
Yeah, and so we have pellets in there for them that are regular retail rabbit food, but every day I go out, and even the row garden where things have bolted and gone to seed, I keep watering it because things just keep coming up. I overseeded it, so I go out and I pick this huge basket full of spinach. Every day I go out to the greenhouse and I clip squash plants that are getting out of control. I clip comfrey and I clip turnips or anything that's going to seed. I clip it and take it to the rabbits. Any kind of weeds that are around the fruit trees, I clip them. And that's one of the reasons I plant so much comfrey, is that we haven't had to buy. We have 20 rabbits, 3 does, all of them with babies on them. We haven't lost anybody to heat. They've had plenty of moisture from the greens, and the babies are eating like gangbusters. We haven't lost any babies to any kind of parasites or anything, even though we're getting food off the ground. And we're butchering about every 6 weeks.
Exactly. Oh, good. Okay, Marlene says that's great volume. Unfortunately, I may have turned it up about 15 seconds ago, so tell me if it's too loud or too quiet, guys. Let's see. Comfrey, pure golden salve. Yes.
See, the problem with the rabbit poop, Mr. Trek Fan Dan, is that my ducks are eating it. So
Yeah.
my rabbits are eating all this green food, and my ducks are in deep mulch, so they're used to eating slugs, and so they see rabbit manure as this great source of green food, and I need to cage them off so they can't get underneath my rabbit hutch to eat all the poop.
Jeremy says, give them alfalfa hay. Yes,
Yes.
very true.
Mm-hmm. We give them alfalfa. It's what we fed half of their diet all through the winter. Maybe 3/4 of their diet was alfalfa hay.
We just split it off when we took a bale to the goats, and it very convenient.
And they did much better having that during the winter. We had mamas with babies at 18 below 0 Fahrenheit. That we didn't lose a single baby to cold. Everybody had plenty of milk. They have done really, really well on the roughage.
For sure. So our moderators are on it tonight. Thank you guys.
Okay, didn't finish my post. Rabbit manure is worth its weight in gold. Yes, I love rabbit manure. I could never have enough rabbit manure. And right now, huh?
I could.
You've never helped me with rabbit manure.
Well, that's the thing. I don't have to
about?
fertilize anything, so I'm like,
you don't have
I don't
to touch
like
it.
manure. So.
Yeah, and see, our one hotbed that is doing the best is the one where we stuck the rabbit cages over the hotbed in the winter so that they'd poop, I'd put more wood mulch on. They'd poop, I'd put more wood mulch on. And that's the one where we've had ripe tomatoes in that bed already. We've picked squash out of it, and it's been amazing. We have a neighbor that keeps rabbits.
Use it instead of antibiotic creams. I don't know about that.
Who said that?
D. Welsh.
Rabbit poop?
I think he's kidding. Pretty sure he's kidding. Otherwise, it would be a, what do we do with this, Brad?
Oh, are you talking about comfrey? I hope you're talking about comfrey.
Yeah, they're on to comfrey. Okay.
Okay, comfrey. Okay, I thought you were rubbing poop on your... Nope.
Darn, I was hoping to have that section like Brad does.
I like whack-a-mole. You guys, seriously, you've got to go check out Min Pan. You will die. She has the most amazing personality in the world. Let's see.
So...
Okay, with the pelts, do I do anything with the pelts? Right now, I use them as fertilizer and mulch underneath one particular apple tree. And the reason for that is that any kind of tanning, but especially on a small hide like that that's very thin, it's very labor intensive. Could I do it? Yes, but the fastest way to do it is with chemicals like, is it sulfuric acid? Is that the one we want to use? I don't want to be dumping that out on my property, and I don't like to demembrane hides. It's just so much effort. I need to just try it, but when I was a kid, we salted and brain tanned them, and it took so much time. I just don't feel like it's necessarily worth it. Cocoa Puffs, yuck.
Yeah, no. He's talking about the tanning. Cocoa Puffs. Well, let's see. Donald, get back to me.
I think that was poop. Was it not poop? Were we not talking about poop
maybe.
again?
Yeah, I'm not going to go down the road. Maybe it's another misunderstanding on my end.
I think that rabbit manure is the best for everything because it degrades slowly. You don't get too much nitrogen in your garden because it degrades so slowly. This year on my row garden, I did use Miracle Grow. I've been so disenchanted with it. I couldn't get enough rabbit manure, and I knew that my soil was dead, and so I did use some Miracle Grow. What are they trying to get into? No, you may not use my fabric scissors. I love you so much. You go find some of your own scissors that you've already ruined.
We are not going to have a breakdown right now.
Please go break down in a different room.
I am trying to make some.
We're in show.
I know, but you guys have your own scissors.
Go find... No. You had
you
your
can't,
own.
honey.
Lost them. No, we're going to be fighting.
Sorry, guys. Alum pickling, salt and water. And see, Simply Circus, I have seen that as an option. If it was a solution that I could put in a drum and I knew that I could reuse it and reuse it and reuse it, and I never had to pour it out on my land, I would do that. I need to research it a little bit more. But do you guys know, see, we used to have silver fox. We had silver fox rabbits before, and they were not fantastic. We couldn't get them to breed. And then when they did breed, they ate their babies. I have a book about it in my Etsy store talking about how we finally found these rabbits that are amazing. The silver fox did have very nice fur. Yeah, please go break down a different room. I'm sorry, guys. It's just They want my sewing scissors so they can go cut paper. They got, okay, remember Todd and Lisa? They got scissors, lovely, lovely fabric scissors, and they want to take my scissors that are. Let's see. Miracle Grows like crack for plants. It is. My plants don't like it though. We
haven't had a good time.
I've had really bad.
Well, and our church around the corner just douses the grass in it, and this year, so for the 5th year in a row, it's turning brown, and they can't water it enough to get it to come back. So I think that's the issue.
Does crack work for plants? Because I have plenty of that.
Oh, Tommy, speaking of which, you were asking for the Hugh Hefner shirt. I've actually got a small collection of these because I picked them up on sale. Is that better? Do we got it? Just saying. Okay.
Well, and I don't mind having my kids in here at all. The only reason we had them leave was because they were starting to have a slight meltdown when I said no to the sewing scissors.
Right.
So if they could have stayed in here and just been quiet, we didn't mind having them in here. But it's not okay to come in and have a meltdown because they don't get what they want.
Especially on worldwide TV.
I have used brains. I have done animal brain or brain tanning, but it is very laborious. I can help you with. Well, our rabbits don't eat the babies anymore, as long as we have a nesting box in there. And I've heard some people say that you feed them a piece of bacon before they deliver, and that it satisfies something in them so that they won't. But we've only ever had a problem when we didn't get a nest box in there.
And that's multi-tiered too. Also, wrap your dead rabbit in bacon when you put it in the oven, and it will keep it nice and juicy as well.
And it won't eat its babies?
Right. It won't eat its babies either. But
if you guys have seen Michigan Snow Pony, she has a recipe about bacon-wrapped rabbit, and pretty amazing. Yeah, you never use fabric scissors for paper, ever.
What?
I know, right? You just don't,
really?
Mom.
Why?
And I keep giving him scissors.
Right. Stop doing it.
How about a rotary cutter? Never mess with my... Right? Yeah, if I gave my kids a rotary cutter, oh my gosh.
Oh, geez. Our walls would have stripes.
Well, my kids would have stripes on them.
True.
Okay, so I had a question. Bacon. So for those of you who do tanning, does the sulfuric acid or the alum, does it take the membrane off? Because that's the thing I hate the most about tanning, is getting the membrane off. So if any of you out there is a tanning expert, do you have a solution that makes it so you don't have to demembrane?
You're going to have to wait 30 seconds for that, so I hope you're going to be talking in the meantime. So, Old Kentucky Homestead, teenage meltdowns are the best. Right? I remember them as a teenager, actually. And you wait. Oh, here we go. Brains.
Did you guys ever see that? What was that Cold Love? What was it called?
Warm Bodies.
Warm Bodies. Oh my gosh, that was the best movie ever.
Fun. Yeah, second best.
See, I can process a rabbit in 2 minutes as far as butchering it, but not the tanning.
Muriatic acid and salt.
Okay, slow down, slow down. Look on the label close. I love that. Yes, it's such a good.
Yes, Kelly Hudson, bacon wrap.
Oh my gosh. Okay, Jeremy, use a wire brush on the dry hide. That is brilliant. You think sulfuric acid? It's a dilute solution of sulfuric acid. You still think it's too harsh? See, and that's the thing. I don't want to scrape it off when I flush it out. I just don't want to do it. I would love to offer it on my Etsy store, but the amount of time it takes to deflesh a rabbit, just I can't spend that kind of time.
Here's why to use bacon before labor on rabbits. It's because
Big Bear, were you gonna? Okay, sorry, what?
It's because it spasms arteries and can induce labor. Hence, use bacon. Go ahead, Big Bear.
You don't tan the white hides? See, I think most of our rabbits are more of a chinchilla. You always have to see, and I don't want to scrape the membrane off. It just drives me crazy. One of you should come over to my house and scrape the tans for the hides for me.
Right. You could be like a
wire
woofer.
brush
Spend the
good,
night.
but a poly
Get
stiff brush is better. Okay, so you have me convinced. Our neighbor that we get some of our rabbit manure from, he saves them all. What he does is he turns the skin insides out and puts them on a wire hanger. So Brad, there's what you're supposed to use wire hangers for. You have the hook here at the top and you pull it down so that it forms a shape like this, and then you pull the rabbit hide on inside out and it stretches it and it dries it. And he's offered me his hides before, and I've told him no because I didn't want to tan them. Sugar run rabbitry. Okay, so is that what you've done? I've heard soak in salt water overnight, then freeze them, then thaw equals tender. Okay, but the sulfuric acid is the one that I've heard the best results from. So sugar run, have you used it? We will not send more paramedics.
What? Never mind.
Who's going to send? Oh, did it big? I haven't been traveling. Let the woofer do. That's a good idea.
Yeah, right. Kara's got let the woofer.
Well,
do
a lot
hides.
of the woofers are vegetarians, so that's one thing that kind of.
Well, you know, it's good to experience. Put it on video.
Why do I put hides under the apple tree? I put them under the apple tree because I don't want to throw them away. I don't believe in having any bones or guts or hides leave my property. I want it all to stay and nurture the soil and grow good bacteria. Different things bring different bacteria into your soil, and so all of our big knuckle bones from when we butcher pigs and stuff like that, they go underneath trees.
And if you keep them spaced out, since we have 1.5 acres, we can put some rabbit hides down and it doesn't smell. We don't get the dead animal smell most of the time. So.
Huh.
So, let's see.
See, and I always use salt. When I'm doing a big hide, I will salt it. And the problem has always been, again, is it easier to scrape before or after it has dried? And if you don't get all the membrane off, it doesn't work down into the grain of the leather and it stays stiff. Yeah, the stream does suck. I've always used Google Hangouts before and it's worked better. What do I do with the bones? So if we have bones that are too big for us to get into our soup pot, then what I'll do is I will take them out and let the chickens pick the bones clean. Not with pork. With pork, I go put them on the other end of the property because I don't want the chickens eating raw pork. But if it is big bones, I will give them like a deer carcass that had already been all the way cleaned. We'll put it out for the chickens to pick at. They'll eat all the meat off. And then the bones will gradually break down. I'll put more mulch on top of them, and they'll just add texture to the under the mulch for the worms to eat.
Wire wheel on a drill. Nicholas, that is a great idea.
What is it?
So fast, a wire wheel rather than a wire brush. And you just put it on a drill. And we got our peanut grinder. We could totally put that on too. Do it in high speed, but it might tear it.
Yeah, that's my question is, will it tear the hide? Especially because rabbit hides are so thin. Hey, Edward Little. Thanks for loving our videos. Yeah, Starry Hilder's husband is a taxidermist, and I've seen some of his videos about deer hide, but I haven't seen him do anything on rabbit hide. And I know that the solution would be the same. I mean, hide is a hide is a hide. The reason we don't use Google Hangout is because people have a hard time finding us to comment. I know, right? If we did something with the hides, people would buy them. You suck at streaming, you might... What?
Troll.
Stream is great here too. Actually, nothing wrong with the stream here.
Yeah, I think the original guy was voicing his opinion on our production.
We ran a separate compost for plants and for animal matter. See, and we don't do a. I love Min Pan. It's so nice to have you here tonight. I don't do compost piles. Instead, what I do is I mulch. I deep mulch, I deep mulch, I deep mulch. I figure it makes more sense to me to mulch, and by mulching, by composting, I compost in place by putting mulch down. And so then my ducks come and walk across the mulch and they poop, and then my chickens, huh?
Go ahead. Keep talking.
Well, then don't point at it. I can't.
Don't go to the next comment. Okay.
Okay. So, and then the chickens, what?
Nothing.
What?
We're back to... We're listening. Go ahead.
And so then the ducks come and poop on top of the compost, and then the chickens, we only have 2 now, come by and scratch that up a little bit, and it works it down into the mulch where the worms can get to them. and the slugs come out and they feed the ducks. And so our backyard is actually just one big, huge compost pile.
Pretty much. And it actually squishes when you walk on it, but not in a bad way.
Yeah, not like mud. It's just soft underfoot.
Well, it's a straw, so we got 8 inches of straw out there.
Are we?
Gotcha.
Well, that's okay, because I'm not actually reading most of the comments. I just noticed a lot of positive things as I'm trying to look at.
You do need to reference the comment that you're talking about, too. So, Kara, loving the stream and getting to be part of one. Usually I'm working too late to the party. You know, it is really good to have you. That's so awesome. You've been... Anyway.
And I wish somebody would come to my house and do my rabbits and show me. My papa would turn the hide inside out and throw them on fire. And oh my gosh, that's a beautiful idea.
Amanda's garden.
I know, right? I'm learning so much too. I want to send you my possum. Wouldn't that be
that
awesome?
Could be fun. And Pam?
A scraping blade. Will a scraping blade work on something as small as a rabbit?
Something that would be interesting to do.
No, I didn't see. Wait. Yes, didn't you go out to your garbage? Minpan. Sorry.
Thank you. She says, didn't you see me trap it?
I thought I did, didn't I? But it was a while ago, wasn't it? Like 6 weeks? Or maybe it was somebody else. Maybe somebody else was catching their possum.
Okay, Kelly Hudson. How do you keep the duck smell under control?
Mulch.
Mulch.
And the fact that we have only 2 chickens, they go out and just scratch the very surface of where the ducks have been. So it reburies all the duck manure back into the mulch, rather than it just staying on top and being slick and nasty. Yes, he is really good at keeping me on point. I could go all sorts of different directions. Hey, from New Zealand. Kiwi farmer. Right? If something came at me in the dark, oh my gosh, it would scare me so bad. We had a rock chuck the other day that got stuck behind the wood pile, and it scared us bad enough. See, and we don't have red worms underneath our rabbit cages because our ducks go in and eat the worms. Okay, so this is what I need to do. I need to be able to open up my backyard gate, the small one, so that our main ducks can go out with our pastured ducks, because then they would stop eating all my worms. And then my pasture ducks could come into the backyard if they wanted to. The reason I don't is because my chickens would follow them out to the pasture. And my chickens are little sneakers. And they sneak through all the tiny little holes and get up into the front. And then they dig all my mulch up from around my permaculture plants. And it makes me want to shoot them.
Linda Smith, poop is your life.
Poop is my life.
It is true.
Yeah.
Deal with it from the time we get up to we go to
thanks,
bed.
Edward. Okay. So we have about 7 minutes before you guys need to go check out Tommy. So Tommy is off-grid nation here. You've seen him visiting here a bit.
Chime in, Tommy.
And I am intrigued to see what Tommy has to say tonight, what with all the social unrest that we've been having and civil liberties that are being abused. And
wait, Tommy just said, deaths. So does dirt love poop or does poop love dirt?
Poop loves dirt.
It seems to be attracted to us non-stop.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see what Off-Grid Nation has to say, because we have so much going on in the nation right now, and we need to be mindful of what's going on instead of hiding under a rock and thinking somebody else will take care of it.
Yeah, there's no cavalry coming, guys. It's us. We are going to have to be those people. So let's step up. And I'm not talking violence. I am talking just make sure to stay involved.
Yeah. So okay,
plug?
Let's see. Do I have anything else? A plug of?
Guys, so if you would like to come in and see what else we are doing, we are going to ramp up and do a little bit more on our Patreon page as well. So it's patreon.com/dirtpatcheaven. And we're still very much in the beginning stages, but we have a couple things that we're going to get off the ground and hopefully get to you. So, again, patreon.com/dirtpatcheaven.
Southman, that is so true. Nobody talks about poop unless they have toddlers and
organic farmers. So true.
Okay.
Hey, Sugar Run Rabbitry, thank you.
Minpan.
It's good to be on. I appreciate being here. So, let's see.
Okay, so everybody knows Off-Grid Nation is next. Brad was before us, and that's Big Family Homestead. They had a really great show tonight that we watched.
Sorry, jump in one quick second about that. Discipled one came in and says, you're so right, Mr. Dirt. It was interesting. I heard the aftermath with Dallas and the Black Lives Matter contest and the debacle, the horrific tragedy that happened there. And it was amazing that that crowd actually rejected the shooter. They were not calling for violence either. And so it connected with me that, hey, these guys are living, breathing souls, and they don't want violence either. But they need to get their point out just as well as us homesteaders or off-gridders or libertarian type people. Anybody, you know. So we need to remember that we are all the same. And that we're all people.
And it's what I love about the fact that we have live and we have people who can record things so that it's never just one person's side to say this is what happened. And it's not just the powerful people who have the ability to record and show what's really going on from their point of view. And so we feel really blessed that now this technology has allowed people to be able to get out what's happening to them personally rather than it just being about CNN.
Mm-hmm. Tommy, you just can't stop yourself, can you? Yeah, that gets to a point, doesn't it? The soapbox is
I know. I
sticky.
feel a little bit crazy. So, anyway, so we're going to turn you guys over to Tommy. Tommy, hopefully you're ready for everybody. Was there anything
Off-Grid
else?
Nation is his channel.
Yeah, Off-Grid Nation.
Other than that, you know, we love you guys and really appreciate you coming over. Thanks for dealing with us while our upload and our stream glitches in and out, and like I said, we hope we're getting better at this.
Yeah, I agree, Mindy.
Yeah, Mindy just said it was awful here, but Dallas came together and showed love for the police. It's, you know, and that's the thing. We will side, as a society, we tend to side with the people who won't show violence, who are peaceful, and will say no, that it's firm but peaceful. Okay, so let's see. Australia, shout out to you guys. It was good to see that we had somebody from there, somebody from Ireland.
Off-Grid Nation, he's ready.
Yep. So, thanks, guys. Go check him out.
We love you guys.
Have a great week.
I'll talk to you later.